Hello everyone, bienvenidos a mi channel. My name is Beatrice. I'm an artist and designer. Sometimes I am bilingual, and so sometimes what comes out is not English, and that's totally fine. I typically just have a stream of conscious with these videos, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I hope it's fun for you guys too. If you don't know Spanish, sucks to be you, apréndelo y veremos. I'm going to be talking about a watercolor that I made last week. It's this one right here, which I will reveal to you very shortly. I was really nervous, or just the theme is anxiety. I'm really proud of this watercolor, not because of the final product, which I am happy with how it came out, but with how the lesson I learned from actually doing this watercolor. I was really struggling with making this postcard, or this little image. I had some concepts that I wanted to pull together, and it just wasn't happening. And I also remember that these projects I want them to be fun. I want them to be, this is my outlet, this is my space for me to have full creative license. So I did stop and say, you know, I'm just gonna pause this, I'm gonna go get out of the house. So I left the house and was encouraged by a friend to draw the type of animal that I want to embody this year. I was still really frustrated with and in my head about like wanting to make something that I was proud of, that I wanted to give to people, that, you know, I was putting way too much pressure on myself, which is a theme I'm trying to avoid this year. I'm still kind of avoiding it in some regards. When I was with my friend, I was looking through magazines and I found a few animals that kind of sparked my interest, but what stood out to me was bears. Bears! Un oso polar! There were grizzly bears, there were polar bears. Of course, they're these beautiful, giant, wild creatures. Me fijé que, pues, yo me encantaría ser como un oso. En mi mente no estaba pensando en lo que normalmente la gente dice sobre los osos. Son maternales, salvajes, son que tienen ese instinto maternal. The bear stood out to me because of the seasons that they live through. There's a season where they sleep and that's all they do, and they only focus on rest. And there's a season of you know, giving life, creating things, taking care of cubs. There's a season of, there are moments of like wild, ferocious, I can't articulate it, it's bugging me. And yes, the show The Bear is a show that I really admire and enjoy, but when I didn't see the bear and think of that at all, because I mean, that, for one thing, that show is, that's kind of not, that's what I'm wanting to move away from, is that idea that to be great at something you have to compromise every other aspect of your life. You know, that pursuit of excellence that is ingrained in some people, to fight so maliciously for that one thing that you're searching for that's just beyond reach. It's so unhealthy. What drew me to the bear was the cycles of life that it goes through. Season of hibernation, season of, you know, the fishing season. I'm not familiar with bears, but I did find something very encouraging, which was that I appreciate that there's a Latin American bear and a North American bear, because that's close to my heritage and what I care about. This is way more of a ramble than I expected, but here we are. I want to trust myself that there's seasons for everything, and that there, you know, if I take time to rest, it will ensure that down the line there will be more opportunities, I will avoid burnout, which I think is the hope for a lot of people. So I had 2 watercolor papers. One, I wanted it to be the final, and one, I wanted to do some studies, experiment, make sure, like, use reference photos, but illustrate it how I want to illustrate it. And I filled the page I'm looking at right now, with sketches and drawings and doodles. Of course, I'm naturally drawn to the spectacle bear. The one that inspired Paddington, mainly because it's in the Andes, and the black bear. I wanted to do a test run with the one watercolor paper that I did have, mainly because I was so anxious to just start a final and make that, say that's going to be the official thing that I have, because I wanted to have it on my wall, which I don't know if it's just me, but making stuff knowing that, again, the pressure just rose for no reason, and this, once I started doodling, illustrating the study that I was doing, like different types of bears that I'll show you shortly, it was actually way more fun than I thought, and I like was able to finish it because I was just letting myself make art without the pressure of it being anything. And I'm laughing now still because I've been doing art for all of my life and I still forget that the whole point of it is to enjoy it, is to have that release. The whole point of art for me is to communicate things that you can't communicate with words, or art is meant to speak to things that you can't speak of the subconscious, of kind of that yearning. Del mundo. Hola a todos. I'm way too in my head about this. Gente linda, hermosa.